Hello guys, it's me, Bad Jokes FM, back at you once again with another Football Manager 17 video, and I've got something a little bit different for you guys today. As I'm recording this, it's the afternoon before the Europa League final between Man U and Ajax, two of the most historical teams in football. So I've had the idea to swap Man United and Ajax around and to see what would happen. So Man United are now in the Dutch league, the Eredivsie, and Ajax are in the Premier League. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Will Man U dominate in Holland, and can they get some European success? And can Ajax compete in England? Can they survive? Can they get back into Europe? Can they stay in Europe? And how will they do with all the money that's going to come with being in England and all the riches that will accompany that? So I'm going to show you guys the next 3 seasons, and we're going to stop off after every season, and I'll give you guys a quick look at the transfers that have happened and obviously where the teams have finished and how their seasons have gone. And so I'm just going to skip through the first season now. I will see you guys in just a moment. Hello guys, we're back. As you can see, it's the 1st of June 2017, so the first season has just finished. And as you can see on the available jobs, the Ajax manager has either been sacked or he's left. We will go check them out in just a moment, but I think I want to go have a look at Man United first, see how they got on over in Holland. I am expecting them to have dominated, but let's just go see how they have done. And it says there they've finished first in the league, as you may have expected, but let's just see how far ahead of everybody else they was. And oh wow, they finished 19 points ahead of everybody. They've gone unbeaten in the league. What a phenomenal achievement. Ibrahimovic with the second most amount of goals. Juan Mata with an average rating of 8.19. That is ridiculous. Wow. And so let's just now go and have a look at how Man United have done in all the other competitions. Let's go to their schedule. And they've won the Community Shield. They must have still been in that after winning the FA Cup last year. They beat Leicester in that Community Shield. And then how else have they done in the other competitions? They started the season brilliantly, as you might have expected with them having finished going unbeaten. They beat Feyenoord in their first game. Quite a good first game to be having for Man United in the league. And then their first Europa League game they actually drew, but they soon picked up in that, I think it looks like. Yeah, they've done really well there. Didn't lose a game until the Europa League game against Hertha and at the beginning of November. Quite a long time to go without losing. And then since then, just wow, look at all that green. I've not seen that much green since a 50 Cent video, lads. Just mental the amount of green there. And they've got past the first Europa League round. Got past the second one, despite losing to Benfica in the second round. Quarterfinals, got through that. Lost in the first leg of the semi-finals, but they managed to turn that around. And oh my gosh, will you look at that? Despite having emigrated over to Holland, they still cannot avoid their noisy neighbours, Manchester City. They have beat Manchester City on penalties in the final of the Europa League. If we can get some sort of drama like that in the game tonight, I will be happy. But they just cannot stay away from them, can they? I think that is quite mental. And they've also won the Dutch Cup on penalties again after finishing 1-1 in normal time. Just a mad game. They two cup victories, both won them on penalties. And now let's go and have a quick look at their transfers, see if they brought anybody in and who left as a result of them moving over to Holland. They've brought in Rick Karsdorp, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Feyenoord for 11.75 million, going up to possibly 15.5. And he's not someone I know too much about. You guys in the comments may know a little bit more. If you do, please let me know. But from here, he looks a decent little right back. He does look good. As far as his performance for Man United, he's played 21 times in the league with an average rating of 7.4. So he's done really well there. And the other guy they've brought in was Adrien Silva from Sporting for a quite big amount of 39 million. That's got to be up there for the Dutch league record, surely. And again, someone I don't know too much about. But wow, he looks brilliant. For his mental stats, he looks quite amazing. He's a central midfielder / defensive midfielder. And he looks really, really good. Again, if any of you guys know about him, or if you've used him in your games, please let me know how you got on down in the comment section below. But as for people leaving, James Wilson's gone on loan to Burnley. Young's gone to Fenerbahce. Quite a bit of a weird one there. Thought he might have gone back to England, but apparently not. Roshan Williams has gone to Blackburn. Antonio Valencia's gone to China. I'm sure he's on massive money now. Let's just go have a look. He's still only on 89,000. But that is still pretty good for China, for a Chinese team, to be able to pick Valencia up. Axel Tranazibi, God knows how you pronounce that. I've probably just absolutely butchered that. If you can let me know down in the comments, again, please do. He's gone to AZ Alkmaar. And Tyrell Rowan has gone to Bristol Rovers. And Tahith Chong has gone to FC Volendam. All of them on loan, apart from Valencia. And so, yeah, they've had a pretty amazing season, I think you would say. And now let's go have a look at Ajax and see what has happened for their manager to leave. As there you go. And Ajax, is it going to load up? Yes, it is. Oh, they've actually finished 18th in the Premier League and gone down. Wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that at all, to be honest. It looks like they've only gone down on goal difference, though. What's that, 6 goals they've gone down by? That is really unfortunate. I was expecting them to sort of be mid-table, maybe around Everton, Crystal Palace, Stoke level. But for them to go down, it could be a big bit of a rebuilding job for whoever takes them on next season. Let's just have a quick look at their info screen. Still looks like most of their players are there from the beginning of the season. Let's have a look at their schedule, see how they started and how they got on in all the cups. Just take away the friendlies. And yep, that's gone now. And so they started off in the third place qualifying round for the Champions League, where they actually lost to Monaco. Maybe not that much of a surprise. Monaco have been on fire this year. They've done really well in real life. So that was always going to be a tough game for them. But as for domestically in the league, they drew with Middlesbrough 0-0 first game up. And then lost to Liverpool. In fact, just for a second, I'm just going to take off all the other competitions. And we'll go have a look at all the other ones one by one after. And wow, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the Premier League before they picked up their first victory. Their start of the season was always going to be difficult. Look at that, they lost to Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea all in a row. And then drew with Bournemouth. And it wasn't until Watford that they picked up their first victory. And then Everton and Sunderland soon followed as well. But then again they went on a little bit of a run. And it looks like they've not been able to pick up too much consistency. They did beat Manchester City though. That had to be counted as somewhat of an upset, surely. And so a few games, they They did beat my team, West Ham. Bit gutted about that. But Ajax, again, just no consistency. There you go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games without a win. Did beat Southampton, and again, I think this is what has done them. They're just not been able to pick up 3, 4, 5 wins in a row, which is what you do need to do to stay in the league. After the Southampton game there, they've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games again without a win. And so yeah, that's what done them in the league. No consistency. But let's see if they had any more joy in any of the cup competitions. Let's take a quick look at the FA Cup first. And FA Cup, they beat Notts County in the FA Cup third round. Then they drew with Sunderland, but did manage to thrash them 4-0 at home in the replay. But then they lost 3-0 to Arsenal in the 5th round of the Cup. About average, I think you would say, for a team that has got relegated from the Premier League. They've had a decent little run, a couple of victories, but then came up against Arsenal. And I think, as everyone knows, Arsenal are normally a bit overpowered on these games. And now let's see what happened in the EFL Cup. They beat Port Vale at home and then lost to Crystal Palace. A bit disappointing there. I might have expected them to do a little bit better than to be losing to the likes of Palace. But Champions League we've already seen. The European Cup, the Europa League. Oh, it looks like they've had a few more games in that. Oh, I didn't spot that. Oh, they've come through the playoffs, and they've got through the groups, but then they actually lost to Manchester United. How funny things work out, eh, guys? The team they've swapped places with, they lost to them in the first round of the knockout round, of the Europa League. And yeah, they lost 2-0 at home. Pogba and Mata with the goals for United. And then lost 1-0 away. Martial with a goal there. And just going to have a quick look at their transfers now, just to see what has happened with them moving over to England. And they've done a little bit of business. Nothing too much. That might explain why they've gone down. I would have expected them to do more. Maybe the money hasn't kicked in yet. But they've brought in Oribe Peralta from America in Mexico. Quite a weird thing saying that. To try and tell old Donald Trump that there's a team called America in Mexico. Don't think he'll be too happy. And then yeah, Peralta. I can't see anything there. Sorry guys, because I don't have our manager loaded in. And so they've picked him up, and they've picked up David Timor from Leganes for 1.3 million, and they've picked up Maxime Limachand from Nice for 775,000, and they've got Alexander Kolarov from Man City for 2.5 million. That could be a little bit of a bargain if he does stay with them for the time being, because he might be the bit of experience they need to come and get back out of the Championship. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick look at how he's got on. He's played 18 games. He's got an average rating of 6.96 in the league. So average, a little bit better than average maybe. And as for the outgoings, Kaj Sahoys has left for Gillingham on loan. Cerny's gone on loan to Brentford. A bit like my original series on YouTube. I did try and loan Cerny. I think I managed to get him on loan for Brentford. And then Justin Cliver, who, if anybody knows his dad, surely he's expected to have a big, massive future. He's gone on loan to AFC Wimbledon. Frankie de Jong has gone to Cardiff on loan. But the big outgoing is Davy Klassen, who I think everybody knows who plays this game. He's a big player this year on Football Manager. He's joined Liverpool for 20.5 million, with a possibility of it going up to 30 million as the seasons and the years progress. Just have a quick look at how he's got on. 28 starts in the league and an average rating of 7.4. Still only 24. So I'm pretty sure Liverpool are going to be quite happy with their investment there. And I'm going to leave that there for now, guys. I'm going to skip forward to the next part, to the end of this next series. I will see you guys in just a moment. We're back, guys. As you can see, it's the 1st of June 2018. So let's have a quick look at how Ajax and Manchester United have both got on. Going to have a look at Ajax first, because I think it'll be more interesting to see them getting on in the Championship. And they finished 4th. Does that mean that they got promoted? As you can see, Sean Dyche has taken over as the manager. Quite surprising that, but if you ever want someone to get your team out of the Championship, I think Sean Dyche is a good bet for that option. And so they finished 4th, but they did not get promoted. It's Reading that did win the playoffs, as well as Hull and West Brom both got themselves promoted automatically. And so let's have a quick look at their schedule to see how they got on in the league. They started okay, not brilliantly. They didn't really seem to kick on until about October time, when they played Charlton, and then they went on a 6-game winning run, which was really brilliant for them. They did lose to Wigan there, but then they went on another run of 6 games without defeat. And so it's possibly those two moments in time that really gave them the playoffs. And yeah, no real consistency after that, bar 2 or 3 times when they won 2 in a row. And they did lose to Reading in the playoffs. Really unfortunate, but hopefully next year they can get back up. And let's just have a quick look at their transfers, just to see what they've brought in and what they've taken out. And they've got 3 bits of business here from Manchester United. They've brought in Adnan Januzaj, who is a player I quite like using. Let's see what sort of season he has had. He's played in 47 games, started 44, scored 5 times, assisted 10, with an average rating of 7. So I'd be quite happy with that for the price they paid. They've brought in Haris Seferovic on a free transfer. They've brought in Axel Tranisibi on loan. Charlie Taylor from Leeds for 925k. Just have a quick look at how he's been doing. He started all 49 games. Scored 7 goals from left back. A decent little return that. For an average rating of 7.04. I would be happy with that for under £1 million. And they've picked up Alan Neom from West Brom. He's not someone I've used too much, if at all, this year. He's a right back. He's ended the season with an average rating of 6.9 after starting 41 games. So again, a decent little return. All these players they've brought in seem to have done quite okay. But now this is their biggest money deal. Andreas Pereira, their last bit of business from United. They paid 8.75 million. And he started 40 games. He's got 4 goals and 8 assists. But he's only got an average rating of 6.7. I think if you're spending that kind of money in the Championship, you should really be expecting quite a bit more than that, I would think. But maybe he just needs another year to get settled, and he might kick on next season. And now they've picked up Stephen Ward from Burnley. And they picked him up originally on loan for 11.75k a month. But then they must have been happy with how he was getting on, because they did buy him permanently as soon as the January window opened for the bargain price of 400k. And he's played 33 games for them, scored 5 goals, 3 assists, and an average rating of 6.89, which again, from left back, you've got to be happy with that. If you can get your left backs to pop up with 10 goals between them, you're going to be happy. And now they've also picked up Richie Delay from Aston Villa for 3.9 million. And he is a right back. And he's started in 19 games, come on as a sub in another 7. And he's finished the season with a rating of 6.69. Which is okay, not brilliant. But again, maybe next season, with a little bit of extra experience he has now, he might be able to kick on. And they've got Chris Martin, no not him from Coldplay, with them god-awful songs. they've picked him up for 6.5 million, and let's just see if it's all been yellow for him. He's come up with absolute 30 starts. He's scored 12 goals, and he's got an average rating of 6.75. Decent, not brilliant, but he certainly popped up with a goal every 2-3 games. Every 3 games, I think that works out at. So you can't complain too much, and maybe again next year, a bit more fluidity with his teammates. He can score 2 or 3 more. And their last signing of the season was Ashley Barnes from Burnley for 4.1 million. And he's only started the 1 game. He has come on as a sub in another 6. But he has only scored twice in the league. And he's got an average rating of 6.88. Quite disappointing, I think you would say. I've always sort of liked Ashley Barnes. I have tried to pick him up every now and then. But he's not performed too well here for Ajax this season. And now, let's see what they've got as far as outgoings. Dedrick Boer, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's retired. And just go up a bit, sorry. Let's just go back to the start. We've got Mitchell Dykes. He was the first to leave the club. He's gone to Norwich for 2.2 million. And then you've got David Nez. He's gone to Stade Rennais for 2.7 million. Kasper Dolberg's gone to Bournemouth for 4.5. And some more business done here with Burnley. They've certainly been in constant communication with them, even before Sean Dyche came into the club. And so Gyro Riedereld has joined Burnley. If that's not how I pronounce it, please let me know in the comments down below. All these foreign names, I can't even speak English most of the time. So foreign is just whoa. So if you can just let me know how to pronounce that down in the comments below, please let me know. But how is Gyro done for Burnley? He started 38 games for them, so he started every game in the league. He's come up with an average rating of 7.3. So for 10 million, I think you'll be happy with that. And his value has skyrocketed up to 22.5 million. So they'll be very happy with that bit of investment. And Joel Veltman, he's joined him there at Burnley for an initial price of 8 million. And the right back, who can also play centre back, he's come up with an average rating of 6.7. But again, he started 35 games in the league. So that's a lot of fluidity, a lot of continuity there for Burnley. So I think they would be happy with that. And any other ones for any decent amounts of money? Justin Kluivert, he's gone to Forest on loan. Let's see how he's got on. He started 28 games. He's only scored 3 goals, but he has assisted another 4. He's got an average rating of 6.5. He's still only 19, so he has still got a few years to try and develop into the player that his old man was. And we all remember his dad Patrick, what a player he was. And maybe Kluivert can develop for that, to be a modern day Patrick Kluivert. And as for other deals, only other one I'm going to look at any depth sort of into is Kenny Tete. He's gone to Dortmund for 9.25 million. And for them, I haven't got the German league loaded, so he's only started 2 games there. Not really a bit of a fair reflection. I'll have to remember that for after the next season finishes. But as far as Ajax go, a decent season, finishing 4th in the league. And as far as transfers, they spent 28 million, but they did bring in 52 million. So that should help them hopefully try and get promoted next season. Let's go and have a look at the team they have swapped places with, Manchester United. And once again, they have finished 1st in the league. So 2 years in Holland, 2 league titles on the bounce. And Mourinho is still there as manager. Ibrahimovic is now the captain. Pogba is the vice captain. And Angel Gomez is their hot prospect. So it's all a bit of a new era now for Manchester United. Let's go and have a look at their schedule in the league. As you see there, they won the Dutch Super Cup against Feyenoord. Pretty decent result for them. I'm sure they're happy with that. And I'll just uncheck all these, just so we can just get a look at the Dutch league by itself. And again, they've started well, but they have finally lost a game in the league to FC 20. Decent team they are. I think we all remember them from Steve McLaren going over there and trying the worst Dutch accent I've ever heard. If you guys haven't heard it, please look it up on YouTube. It is hilarious. But after that, they went on a storming run. Look at all that green. Wow, so much green there. And they did actually lose again. They lost again away to NEC. So they've only lost away in Holland in the league. But other than that, they have stormed the league. Let's have a look at how far ahead they was of everybody else. They have finished, wow, that's almost 30 points. That's 26 points if my quick maths is correct. That's 26 points they have finished ahead of everybody else. They are dominating this league. They are pretty much the Celtic of Holland. They are so far ahead of everybody. And so let's just go back and see what has occurred in the cups. Just going to go for the Dutch Cup first. And they've lost in the semi-final to Feyenoord. Disappointing. They've not been able to retain their cup. And what actually happened in that game? They lost it to 1-0, and it was Edison Flores with the goal. Pretty disappointing performance, I think you would say. They would have been expecting to win that cup again, but as we all know with cup competitions, absolutely anything can happen. And now let's check the Champions League. And they got put straight into the group stages, and they did okay. Let's just see where they finished in their group. Group G, I think it was, wasn't it? G, let's just check. Nope. Let me just check where they was. Group F. I knew I was close, for FNL's sake. And they did finish second in the group, 5 points behind Barcelona, because they couldn't pick up any victories against Barcelona. But that's not exactly disappointing, is it? Barcelona probably one of the best sides in the world. And they come up against the other Spanish giants, Real Madrid, in the first knockout round of the Champions League, where they did come up short. Let's have a look, see what happened in those two games. They won the first one at home, Marcus Rojo and Paul Pogba with the goals there. But away from home at the Bernabeu, Cristiano Ronaldo come up against his old side to torment them once again. And Douglas Costa and Isco with the goals for Real Madrid to win them that particular fixture. And they was in the European Super Cup because they won the Europa League last year. And they did win that again on penalties. Again 1-1 after 90 minutes. That does seem to be a thing about this experiment. Manchester United do only seem to be able to win cups if they win the first 90, or if they draw the first 90 minutes, one apiece. And so let's just have a look at their transfers, see how they've got on. And a few big deals here. They have brought in Maxim Malisev from Shakhtar, not somebody I've heard too much of. They've brought him in for 19 million, possibly rising to 32.5. And he's a 25-year-old Ukrainian defensive midfielder. He looks okay, he looks decent, without being able to see all of his attributes. I'm not sure if I've spent that amount of money, but he may improve. He is still only 25, he's still got 4 or 5 years to get better. But as far as how he's performed this year for United, he started in 17 games and he's got an average rating of 7.23. Thanks to 5 goals and 7 assists, so you can't really complain too much about that. And joining him at the club is Rodolfo Pizarro from Chivas, for 9 million, possibly rising to 14.2. And he's a Mexican 24-year-old right back. And again, he doesn't look anything too special, but he seems to be doing the job. He's got an average rating of 6.9 after 17 appearances and 3 assists in the league. So he's still got time to improve. He probably needs time to adjust to being in Europe. And then they've picked up a Victor Lindelof from Benfica for 34.5 million. And he is a Swedish 23-year-old right back. And he's got an average rating of 7.11 from 25 starts and just the 1 goal. But he's a right back. That's not what he's brought in the side to do. So I don't think you can be too disappointed with that. He's still young. He could be at the club for a long, long time. And the next fella to come in is Juan Carlos Montoro from Roda JC. Let's have a very quick look at him. Oh, he's a 17-year-old Spanish regen. He's a goalkeeper. He's not actually made any appearances for the first team, so that's more of an investment for the future. And the next guy to come in, oh, that's a bit of an interesting one after. Alfred Duncan from Sassuolo for 24.5 million. He's another defensive midfielder. Looking okay, not brilliant again, but he's come in. He's only started 5 games in the league, and he's got an average rating of 7.1. So maybe next season he can get some more games and improve on that rating. Although you can't complain too much from that for just 5 games. But then Javier Mascherano, back playing for a team that has started in England. He's at Manchester United now. They've bought him for 2.2 million. I've got to say that's a bit of a bargain. He may be 33 years old now, but look at those mental stats. Wow, those are some brilliant mentals he's got there. He's only played in 7 games for United, but he has got an average rating of 7.2. I think he could be a very good backup for them for the next couple of years. I would certainly look into getting him if I could for that price. And so all that transfer business altogether means that they have spent £91 million, which is an awful lot of money for the Dutch league. Be interesting to see if they can keep that going. But as far as their outgoings, let's have a look, see if they've got any big money deals leaving the club. There's Adnan Januzaj, who we saw just now. Daily Blind has gone to PSG for 25, possibly rising to 31 million. And he's done quite okay. Well, he's done brilliantly for them. 28 appearances, or starts at least, in the French league. And he's got an average rating of 7.5. So they should be really happy with that. Guillermo Varela, he's left for Atalanta over in Italy for 2.3 million. Jesse Lingard's gone to Everton for 7.75. And from 18 starts, he's got an average rating of 6.7. So Man United probably happy with that bit of business. James Wilson's gone on loan to West Brom. But other than that... Oh, and there's one more up here. I did not spot that. That's a very surprising bit of business. Marcus Rashford has gone to PSG for 33.5, possibly rising to £46 million. Now this is a player who I'm really excited about in real life, and I think if he did go over to France, he would storm it over there. And FM is saying that he started in 18 games, he's scored 12 goals, he's got 3 assists, and he's got an average rating of 7.2. He is still only 20. I would expect him to become very, very good over there, and to be scoring at least 20 to 25 goals every season for the next few years at PSG. And so all that sort of business altogether, that has helped Man United balance the books. They've got a total outlay of 91 million, but they have recouped 89 million. And I think that is where I'm going to leave it just for now. I'm going to simulate another season, and then I'll see you in just a moment. We're back, guys, for the last part of this experiment. As you can see, it's the 1st of June 2019. So let's go and catch up with Ajax and Manchester United to see what's been happening with them two sides. Let's check out Ajax first. And first is quite an appropriate way to be talking about them, apparently, because they have come first in the Championship. Sean Dyche still at the helm. He has managed to do what he has done a couple of times before and get teams promoted from the Championship up to the Premier League. And let's just see what the gap was between them and everybody else. It was a 9-point gap, a very good little buffer there between them and Brighton, and so I think they'll be very happy with that, only losing 5 times. Let's check out their schedule and their results to see how they managed to achieve that. In the Championship, let's just get it just to show just that. And oh, wrong one. Championship, there we go. And if you look there, a very, very good start there. They went all the way until October, till they got their first loss. But then after that, they went on another good run, and it does seem to be the way they have managed this year. They've gone on lots of runs, and they've got a bit more consistency into their games. And well, yeah, as you look there, if that will go back down, as you look there, they went all the way from the 9th of February all the way through to the end of the season without losing. And so that is brilliant form for them, which has seen them get back into the Premier League. And now let's see what they've done in the FA Cup. They managed to beat Derby 4-0, but then they lost to Crystal Palace in the league in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Not brilliant, but quite standard for a Championship team, I think you could say. And now let's check out the EFL Cup. They beat Wickham, they beat Preston, but they again lost to Crystal Palace. Palace being a bit of a nightmare for Ajax in the Cups this year. So quite disappointing. I don't think they'll be too happy with that. But their main objective was to get back into the Premier League, and they have achieved that. And so let's check out what transfers they may have done to try and get people into the club. Only a few deals, not too many. I think Sean Dyche now is getting the club and the squad into his mould, into his image. As yeah, they've brought in George Boyd. They've brought in Hernan Perez from Espanyol, who's a 30-year-old right midfielder. And he's played 42 games. He's got an average rating of 6.9. So I think Sean Dyche will be quite happy with that. But then this is the very, very big money deal for them this season. They've got Dayot Upamecano, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's played 40 games, started them all, got 3 goals and 2 assists. But that's not bad for a central defender who's got an average rating of 6.9. He's got a lot of time to improve, and I think he will. And then as for other deals, they've got Joange Aloma from Grassap, who's an 18-year-old regen. He looks like he could be someone to improve in the future. And then you've got Alphonse Areola from PSG. I think quite a few of you will have heard of him. 26-year-old goalkeeper. Done quite well. Again, started all 40 games and got an average rating of 6.9. I think Dicey will be happy with that. And then as for outgoings, not been too much outgoing really. They've sold Mohamed Van Bokel for 1.4 million to Arsenal, who's a 17-year-old regen. Probably going to improve in the future as he's only 17, very young. And then they've sold Stephen Ward to Brighton for 155k, who did finish 2nd in the league. So he's got promoted despite leaving Ajax. 33-year-old Irish left back. Played 21 times this season and got an average rating of 7.25. I think he'll be happy with that. And the only other one is a fellow here with an awesome name Quincy Menig, 23-year-old Dutch striker. That is a cracking name. And he's played 11 times for New York this season, scored 4 goals. And so I think he'll be doing okay for New York. And now let's go and check out Manchester United. See if they've been able to pick up a 3rd league win in a row. Oh, I typed that in wrong. And then there we go. And surprise, surprise, they have been able to pick up the 3rd league title in a row. Jose Mourinho still there as manager, continuing his dominance all over Europe. I don't think there's many places left for him to go. Maybe just Azerbaijan. And he's got Pogba still as his vice captain. Quite surprising, I think. He's been able to keep Pogba in the Dutch league. But he has done. Let's just have a quick look at how he's done this year. He's started 32 games, scored 20 goals, and got another 15 assists. And he's got an average rating of 7.73. And so he's got to be very happy with how his season has gone. And as for the club as a whole, how have they got on? If we just change this again, so it changes just to the Dutch league. One thing I have noticed, I have just had a very quick look at this, is that for some reason they've not got into Europe. If any of you would know why that would be, please let me know and hit me up in the comments section down below. But as far as the league goes, look at that. They've had a very, very good run. Oh, there we go, showing it properly now. Look at that awesome run. They have gone all the way from the start of the season to the 3rd last game until they've suffered a loss. Jose Mourinho must have been gutted. He thought he had the invincible season in the bag again. But wow, all that green, all that yellow. A very, very successful season for them in the league. How have they got on in the cup? In the cup, they've won it again. 2 years out of 3. And they've actually managed to win this cup in normal time, in 90 minutes. And so they've got to be very happy with that. So that's 2 cups. That's 2 cups in 3 years. And 3 league titles in a row. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I think I'm going to leave it there. If you would like to see more, please let me know. I am Bad Jokes FM. Please check out my channel. Please check out my other videos. And I am out.